On episode 2 of The Bachelorette, Hannah is as awkward as ever.
Luke P gets clingy.
And is Cam a stalker?
Thanks for watching. Remember to hit the subscribe button, share us, let everybody know that we're pretty cool people and we have fun reviewing The Bachelorette, Bachelor Nation. Episode 2, Bachelorette. I was glad that the number of roll tides has dramatically decreased with episode 2.
The only thing that didn't decrease was ABC.
Oh, gosh.
Always be Cam. We'll get to that later.
More on Cam later.
With this episode, Hannah had a total of 3 dates, 2 group dates, and 1 one-on-one date. It started off with the first group date. That included Grant, Luke S., Mike, Jed, Jonathan, John Paul Jones. I always put JPJ because that's too much to write down. Dylan and Luke P.
Our 2 front runners, Jed and Luke P, on the first group date.
So the premise of this date was a glimpse into her world as a pageant queen. So it was a Mr. Right pageant.
Mr. Right pageant.
So they had to do like a runway walk and then a talent portion, but the catch was that their runway walk was in Speedos.
Yeah, in Speedos.
We as women don't like the idea of being looked at like a piece of meat. She is doing to the men what most women hate being done to them.
Well, somebody on the other side of that would be like, it's about time the men experience what we do.
And okay, if that's your take, that's your take. I'm not going to argue it. I just don't like it. I think, hey, let's treat each other with respect and let's look at each other for more than just our body.
I think that's a great idea.
So all the men have to disrobe down to their Speedo. They do a runway walk, all of that.
As a man, it felt uncomfortable to watch.
There was a lot of crotch shots.
I didn't enjoy it.
Too much information.
I will say Luke P is ripped though.
Except he has teeny tiny calves.
And hashtag ab envy.
So after the Speedo runway walk, they do their talent portion.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, obviously, our boy Jed sings her
He
song.
sang. I didn't think he sang that great. I know there's probably people after me saying that, oh my god, how could you say that? Listen, I just didn't think he sang that great. I'm sorry.
Jonathan, like, juggled. John Paul Jones rode a unicycle. I mean,
I thought that was cool, actually.
All this, like, random stuff. And then Luke P is last.
This was interesting what he did, because didn't he admit that he has no talent?
Yes.
So he is like crazy about Hannah already. And here's the deal. None of them were going to compete with Jed's musical ability. Like,
no.
he can play guitar pretty well. Then it's like Luke P doesn't know what to do.
He has to follow that up. Yeah.
He's got to follow that up, but he has to make a stronger statement. So he beats Jed the only way he thinks he can, which is...
Hannah, I want to tell you that I'm starting to fall in love with you.
He drops the L-bomb on episode 2. When you're put on this show with all these people competing for the same person's heart, like, I'm sure emotions of competition are mixed in with the whole attraction thing, and it's confuses love.
Everything is heightened.
Yeah,
they're
of course
cut
it
off
is.
from the outside world. They're literally fixated on her. But to say that quickly was a bit much.
Well, I mean, he did it just to compete with Jed. There was no way he was going to beat the music playing portion.
He had no talent. So rather than just being silly, he decides, oh, I'm going to tell her I love her.
Yeah.
And it was just creepy, and all the guys were like, oh,
yeah, they're freaked out by
that's weird. So he ends up winning the Mr. Right pageant, although that didn't secure him the group date rose.
No, it did not.
So after the pageant, Luke P, per usual, steals her away first, as he seems to like to do. And she questions him, saying, you know, that was kind of shocking.
Yeah,
Are
she
you
didn't
sure you meant it, sort of thing.
Yeah, she didn't seem to take the L word very well.
She was real skeptical. And
distant
then,
almost?
Yeah, but then the more he talked to her and gave her line after line after line, she was like, oh, thank you.
Didn't he say something like, how'd that make you feel whenever I said that?
Yes!
Yeah.
Every question directed towards her is actually about him. There wasn't a question of, so how was your day? It was, hey, so how did you feel about what I said?
Yeah, it's red flags
like,
everywhere.
He's so self-absorbed.
I think it was obvious that she's more attracted to Jed. And I was right.
Yeah.
Because Jed got the group date rose, which she probably wanted to give him the winning thing.
Yeah,
of the pageant.
Probably, because professing your love to somebody isn't a talent.
No. He cheated the system.
So Jed gets the group date rose. She's definitely into him.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke P was definitely jealous. After that date, the one-on-one date happened. So,
One-on-one.
So it was the very first one-on-one date. And she gave it to Tyler G.
Tyler G.
Who happens to look like Ben Z from a past Bachelorette season. And Tim Tebow had a baby. It's really weird.
It's impossible for that to happen, actually. Tyler G's a weird-looking dude.
He is weird.
Yeah.
He's also the most boring person I've ever seen on TV. Literally their entire date, it was like...
Yeah. Speaking of their date, they went mudding in white, and every yee person across the United States said, "What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Don't wear white to go mudding." Real fast shout out to Cameron S., who watches every single one of our videos, even though he doesn't even watch The Bachelorette.
Thank you, Cameron S.
Shout out to you, buddy. Holla. Anyways, back to Tyler G. and Hannah B.
They go four-wheeling in the mud, and then they
Whoop-de-doo.
cuddle on a couch and have champagne, whatever. And they have conversation about... Couldn't tell you, because
Yeah.
it was so boring that I found myself being like...
But I think she's more into appearances than depth. Everybody watches is like, Luke P is a serial killer.
Yeah, and yet she's like, oh, Luke P.
Luke P.
Yeah.
Because she has hashtag ab envy.
Her abs are pretty good. She has a really flat tummy.
I haven't looked, if I'm being honest.
Good.
Her face annoys me.
So they continue to have the most boring conversation known to man. Couldn't tell you anything about it.
For sure.
For sure. And he gets the one-on-one rose.
So,
Whoop-de-doo. So after the one-on-one date, then we get to see the second group date, which...
second group date was actually pretty dang funny.
The men who were asked on this date were Devin, Mateo, Darren, Connor J, Kevin, Dustin, Tyler C, Joey, Peter, and Garrett.
Not me, Joey. The Joey on the show. I wasn't on this group date. But they roller derbied. And none of these dudes were coordinated. Not a single one. Why is coordination such a hard thing?
I don't know. They all look like Bambi learning how to walk.
That was the funniest part. They were falling all over the place, man.
Dustin...
there was one thing I wanted to talk about. I forgot.
What?
So, the run-up to the Bachelorette is so lame. Yeah, on the group date, whenever, like, all the people walk around the corner, and there's the Bachelor, or the Bachelorette, and they're like, "Ah!" And they all run up all excited. Suddenly, these grown men with careers and, like, homes run up like giggly little schoolboys to this one little girl. As much as I love you, I don't run up to you like that.
Honey!
I know the producers tell them to do it, but it's so stupid.
It's really dumb.
Sorry.
So, after the roller derby date...
They were all dressed like JCPenney dads.
So, Dustin at the roller derby had sprained his ankle, so she actually pulled him aside first to check on him.
Which I thought was cool.
That was really sweet of her. Yeah. But then he proceeds to kiss her, and it was like the loudest,
oh my gosh,
wettest kiss ever.
It was like a 3-year-old eating mac and cheese for the first time.
They're having their group date time, and different guys, they're pulling her aside, having their one-on-one conversation, and all of a sudden, Stalker Cam rolls up. Yeah. I don't know what he was wearing.
His jeans were way too tight.
Yes.
His jeans were way too short. And he had cowboy boots on.
Anyway, so he shows up, interrupts this one guy's time with her.
Yeah.
And she was kind of put off at first by it. Like,
Surprised.
She was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
You know.
But
then within minutes, she's like, oh, Cam.
Yeah. I think she's a simple Simon. She's wowed by gestures like that.
She's wowed easily.
Yeah.
So, a good line, a nice gesture, a wink. You never know, and she's like, he's my soulmate.
So needless to say, the guys that were on the group date were ticked off at him.
They were not happy with Cam. Yeah, so at first, Tyler C goes
to confront him. It was the lamest confrontation I've ever seen in my life.
He was like, hey man,
you alright, bro?
Hannah?
You seen Hannah?
Oh, okay, well I'm just gonna go in there.
You talked to her, right? Alright, well I'm just gonna go find her.
Yeah.
That was, and whenever he was talking to all the dudes, he was like, it's not cool, man. I'm gonna bust him up.
Yeah, it was so passive and cowardly.
Yeah,
it was just kind of like, okay. And then after he addressed her, Garrett goes out, and he has like the world's thickest Southern accent I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He goes out to confront him and is much more direct and mature.
Oh my
about
gosh, yes. That's how you confront somebody. He was like, that's not cool, dude.
Yeah, and he was like, I understand that you feel fine with what you did, but I'm just letting you know we didn't like it.
Yeah.
I was disrespected.
Good on Garrett.
Yeah, so he was very direct and mature, handled it well, went back inside, and then out comes Kevin.
Kevin did an even better job putting him in his place. He legit argued with him.
Yeah, he was just mad.
It was awesome.
So it like escalated so perfectly. And the whole time Cam is doing his stupid ABC, always be Cam. If I hear that one more time.
Nobody should have their own motto that they repeat to themselves. Here's the other thing. Why do the bachelors and the bachelorettes never put the people that do this in their place?
I don't know, because to me, if it were me, and
it better not be you.
It would never be me. What I think she should have done is when Cam approaches her, she says, you know, hi, it's nice to see you, but I'm sorry, you're taking away time from these guys that I handpicked to be on this date. I'll see you at the cocktail party. I promise we'll have a good conversation. Good to see you. Have a good night. Bye.
Deuces.
But that never happened.
I know, it's so annoying. I just want to see these idiots that put themselves out there like that get owned.
It's just disrespectful.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
the
mean,
big
not
part.
only is it disrespectful to the guys, it's disrespectful to her because it was her choice who goes on these dates.
Yes.
And she didn't include you. Deal with it. Be a man. Own it. And just make it up to her at the cocktail party. So on the group date, after Cam leaves, she ends up giving Dustin the group date rose.
Dustin seems like a good dude. I don't mind him.
He seems fairly normal. Yeah.
At the cocktail party, that's when stuff went downtown Joe Brown.
Okay, so she walks in to the room where all the guys are waiting for her, and she's crying. Turns out, it was for nothing. She was just overwhelmed with emotion of the situation. Those poor guys thinking
she's about to
what
send somebody
happened.
home or
Yeah,
something.
she's mad. We did something wrong. No, she's just feeling emotional.
Yeah, she was crying at the fact that she was going to have to send a couple of them home, which
Maybe,
I guess that makes sense. She didn't say that, but that had to have been what it was.
or maybe she's on her period. You never
Well,
know. Could be. Kevin pulls her aside, takes her outside in the front, and brilliantly says, you know, I know you're emotional right now. I think it would be really awesome if you and I just scream it out.
And I did that with Blair before.
Yeah, and it is so therapeutic.
Yeah.
And so what did they do? They held hands and
just screamed.
Belted it out.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought, good for you, Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin got some
Well
points
played.
at that point.
He also answered one of her questions with a yes, ma'am, which her being Southern, I think won some big time points.
She liked that.
Yeah, so
Their
good on
conversation went well
until
none other than Cam approaches in a really weird way. Oh my gosh.
This was the weirdest
It's so weird.
interruption.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Cam walks up and goes, hey, I actually have something for all three of us. Come on. So, like, he turns into a menage a trois. Menage a dude. Menage a bras. Bro. No. So he wants Kevin to go with him and Hannah.
And
the whole time Kevin is like...
he's like, what is happening?
He was really scared. That was the funniest part. He takes him to a heart made out of roses. So
It's like candles.
there's two grown men sitting on the ground with roses with her in the middle. Why would that be a good idea? Kevin was like, this is kind of weird.
Well,
he didn't say that. He just
He
left.
brings out, Cam has chicken nuggets for her, and Kevin's like, okay, this is weird. So
I'm
he
done.
walks away.
Good on Kev. Cam went back inside, and Kevin was like, that wasn't cool. I didn't appreciate it. And he goes, I just want to let you know I'm sick of your ass.
Yeah.
Cursed at him. And threw the nuggets in his face. It was great.
It was
I
awesome.
loved it. I think Cam, what people say about him gets under his skin. Because all the guys were mad that he took their time. So he wasn't going to take Kevin's time.
He was making
was
it
gonna-
like, hey, we can all go.
Yeah, I think that's what he was doing.
That's so weird. So basically, Cam is like a total creep.
Stalker,
and
possessive,
stalker.
creepy man.
He's not even good looking. I don't know what he's still doing on there, but she needs to send him home like ASAP because I can't take one more ABC.
I know. So that was the end of the cocktail party. And then it was the rose ceremony. Take it away, honey.
So she hands out all of her roses to her favorite guys. except for the 3 going home, which were Connor J, which was Joey's pick from last week.
I knew he was going home.
Yeah.
He's the ugliest one.
And then Darren, which was my pick from last week, is the big head.
Yeah, he seemed like a good dude.
He seemed really nice.
His head was large, though.
It was just big. And then Matthew, who to this day we know nothing about. Our dog is doing something really weird.
He's like posing like Leonardo DiCaprio's French girls.
He
was.
So after everybody is dismissed from the rose ceremony,
Luke P pulls the move of the night.
He tells everybody good night, and then he goes off and finds Hannah.
Interrupts her end of the episode interview.
Yes, so she is in the middle of an interview, and he just waltzes right in.
Walks right in.
And says, I just wanted to talk to you some more. And I thought he would end up being like, can we go somewhere to talk? But instead,
He wants
like,
to talk right in front of the cameras.
let's just sit right here. You can sit on my lap. It just was.
Of course he said that.
Yeah, it was like, of course you want her on your lap in front of the cameras and lights and, so everybody can see it. She again kind of questions his love for her, and once again, more cheesy lines.
It's literally the same stuff you already said. Everything I said was real.
Yeah, it's just, she is a sucker for a sweet word, and he is just overflowing with them.
I think she's also into physical appearances. And I mean, I'm not going to fault her for that. There's a lot of people into physical appearances. I don't care what everybody says. Like, I love my wife to death for all of her personality traits and quirks and everything. But if I didn't think she was hot, I would have never tried to talk to her in the first place.
There has to be that
an
physical
initial attraction.
Yeah.
But if we had to do a power ranking, this is where it's tricky. For the whole episode, Jed was at the top.
Yeah.
But after Luke P pulled that move, what do you think?
I think Jed is still...
You think he's still number 1?
She said that he, brings her this, peaceful, feeling, whereas Luke P makes her feel kind of anxious and, excited in a sense.
It's
which,
lust versus, I think, actual attraction.
Yeah, so, I think there is a lot of risk and danger that seems to follow Luke, and that's exciting to her. I think she's attracted to that, but I think she loves the safety of what Jed seems to be.
I get the two of them confused. Jed's a big dude. Luke is, ripped, but Jed's big. He has big, broad shoulders. Yeah. He's tall. His face is big.
Except his features are tiny.
Yeah, his head's like, wow, wow. But anyway, so that's our front runners. I think it's real close between Jed and Luke P right now, but I think they're definitely top tier.
Yeah, I think those are the two that everybody else should kind of be concerned about.
So, now let's look ahead to the next episode and predict who we think is going to be eliminated.
I think Jonathan is going to be one of the men to go next week.
Smart pick.
I think he just isn't her physical type.
He doesn't fit. He's so short.
He's very short.
He's literally a head and shoulder shorter than everybody there.
Yeah. He seems really sweet. I think he's probably really normal, but I think she likes the broad shoulder, muscular jock type.
So my pick for who's going home is actually Cam, which ties into the preview for the next episode.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of stuff that goes down this next episode, Bachelor Nation.
Get ready.
First of all, it seems that Luke P is turning even more controlling than he's been in the past. There's this whole talk of how he's having to watch other men kiss her, which the seasons that I've seen, the second a contestant starts thinking that way, it's
bad news.
Downhill from there. Cam starts being super, super manipulative. There's this talk of how he's going to give Hannah a sob story to get a sympathy rose or something like that.
And he, tells some of the guys what he's going to do, and those guys go and tell Hannah.
Rat him out immediately. Men are petty, man. Men are petty.
So she's obviously going to be like, so I heard you were going to tell me something sad to get a pity rose.
So that's why I think Cam's going to go. But
one can only hope.
I know, one can only hope. Funny thing, the next group date, she's going to hook them up to a machine that simulates birthing pains. And that's our reaction to episode 2 of The Bachelorette.
So if you enjoyed this review, this reaction, this recap, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Share us on your Facebook and all that good stuff.
All that jazz.
Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week for our reaction to episode 3.
Yes, indeed. See you next time.
Bye, guys.